بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد. This is your walkthrough for resource number 24. That is the quiz that goes along with lesson number 24 of your Ajurrumiya course in basic Arabic grammar. So the expectation at this point for you to benefit from this recording is that you have studied lesson number 24 from our Ajurrumiya course. You've understood it. You've challenged yourself with the quiz, with resource 24 on page number 131 of your workbook. And you've checked your answers as well with the answer key, and we'll go over those questions and answers now at this point for hopefully some additional benefit, insha'Allah ta'ala. So let's begin. Resource 24. أسئلة مراجعة من الدرس الرابع والعشرين. Review questions for lesson number 24. السؤال الأول. The first question. قال الإمام ابن آجرم رحمه الله وللجزم ماذا? The author, Al-Imam Ibn Ajurrum, said, and Jazm has what? Of course, we're talking about his words from lesson 24. A. موضعان. B. علامتان. C. ثلاث علامات. Or D. علامة واحدة. So, obviously, A is nonsensical. وَلِلْجَزْمِ مَوْضِعَانِ. We're talking about علامات الإعراب, right? So, does a majzum word have one possible sign, two, or three? That's our question. And the correct answer, according to the text, the basic text with its basic reading, we are opening and closing quotes here. لِلْجَزْمِ عَلَامَتَانِ. لِلْجَزْمِ عَلَامَتَانِ. There are two signs of a word being majzum. And so B is the correct answer. السؤال الثاني. The second question. اختر ما ليس من علامات الجزم. Choose from the following what is not one of the signs of jazm, of a word being majzum. A. حذف النون. B. حذف حرف العلة. C. السكون. Or D. الكسرة. So, there's a problem with this question. Building on the answer from the first question, there should be only two signs, right? So how can we have four answers? And only one of them is not from the signs of jazm. It should be the case that two of them are not from the signs of jazm, since there are only two signs. But remember, al-hadf, deletion of a letter, is one of those signs. And we said that could be opened up into two separate signs. Either hadfu nun or hadfu harf al-illa. Remember that from the lesson. So then answer choice A, hadfu nun, yes, that is a sign of a word being majzum, like al-af'al al-khamsa, also called al-amthilatu al-khamsa, yadhabuna. For example, lam yadhabu, bihadf al-nun. Then we have B, hadfu harf al-illa, like yaghzu or yaqdi. Lam yaghzu, lam yaqdi. We remove the waw and the ya from those two words. So that's hadfu harf al-illa. That is a sign of a word being majzum. C. as-sukun, like yajlisu. Lam yajlis, with a sukun on the scene. Alamatan lil-jazm. So that leaves only D. al-kasra. And al-kasra is simply not a sign of a majzum word ever. So then D is the correct answer here. السؤال الثالث. The third question. ما هي علامة الجزم في قوله تعالى لم يلد? What is the sign of one of those words in that verse being majzum? A. السكون. B. حرف لم. C. الدال. Or D. الضمة المقدرة. Alright, so obviously we have to stay within the realm of signs of jazm. So الضمة مقدرة, answer choice D, and as well, answer choice C, الدال. These are not even considerable. There would never be any word where you would say علامة جزمه الدال or علامة جزمه الضمة, whether the dhamma was ظاهرة or مقدرة. Those are just not options. And as well, حرف لم, that's the jazim. That's coming up later. Details about that are coming up later. However, you would never say علامة جزمه حرف لم. That's what would make it majzoom, not the sign of it being majzoom. That leaves as-sukun to be the obvious answer choice. There's a sukun on the del of that present tense verb, yalid. So why would that not be the sign of jazm in that word? Lam yalid. Otherwise, walada yalidu. That's the verb, yalidu. So when you add lam makes it majzoom, lam yalid, with a sukun on the dal. A is the correct answer choice. السؤال الرابع, the fourth question. أعرب يكن كما في قوله تعالى ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. What is the i'rab of the word يكن in that verse from Surah Al-Ikhlas? A. فعل مضارع مجزوم علامة جزمه حذف الواو. B. اسم مخفوض علامة خفضه السكون. C. فعل مضارع منصوب علامة نصبه السكون. Or D. فعل مضارع مجزوم علامة جزمه السكون. So, the word coming after lam is going to be a verb. We're going to have to eliminate answer choice B right away. And we're left with three answer choices. And all three of these answer choices begin with فعل مضارع. So it is a فعل مضارع for sure. Two of the answer choices say majzoom, and one answer choice, C, says mansub. And we know lam makes the verb after it majzoom. So now we're down to A versus D. فعل مضارع مجزوم, as found in the answer choice A, علامة جزمه حذف الواو. Okay, because كان يكون, there was a wow. Ooh. And D, فعل مضارع مجزوم علامة جزمه السكون ولم يكن, there is a sukun on the noon. It seems like we have both signs here. And we do actually have a deleted waw and a noon sakina, a sukun on the noon, present in this verb. And both of those things are a sign of a word being majzoom. But which one is this word's sign? This question is quite a challenge. And it requires a little bit of advanced knowledge. It blends in here nahu with sarf, actually. Sarf is morphology, knowing why some letters are substituted or removed or added and so on. It was actually something presented in class, barakallahu fikum, as an advanced question. And you may recall that kana yakunu, it becomes majzoom by a sukun on the noon. Lam yakun. But then we have a waw sakina, followed by a noon sakina. Harfani sakinani. That is a problem. Now, we haven't officially studied that yet. That just comes up every now and then, and it's something that we mentioned. There's a rule in sarf, something that blocks situations like this from actually being articulated. We don't say lam yakun. and just stop on a noon sakina. The Arabs would say, lam yakun, and they would get rid of that waw. Why would they get rid of that waw? Not because of the jazm exactly, but because there's a noon sakina after a waw sakina, 2 letters back to back with a sukoon on them, that's not allowed in Arabic. So they would have to get rid of one of them. In this case, they would remove the waw in order to solve the problem of iltiqa'u sakinaini, because of 2 letters with sukoon coming back to back. So to summarize, in the word yakun, the waw has been removed, and the noon has been made to have a sukoon on it. The sukoon is the sign of that verb being majzoom, and the waw was not removed because of jazm, rather it was removed because of iltiqa'u sakinain, because of 2 letters coming together, both having a sukoon. That's a bit of a challenge to understand at this stage. May Allah Ta'ala bless you and give you success. As-su'alul khamis, the 5th question. استخرج من سورة الفيل كلمتين مجزومتين. Extract from Surah Al-Fil. All 5 of its verses are found below. 2 majzoom words. 2 words in the jazm case. وبين علامة الجزم في كل منهما. And then explain or articulate what the sign of each of those 2 words being majzoom is. So you have a little table below the verses. The right side of the table says kalimatun majzuma, and then you have 2 rows, 1 and 2. So you need to find those 2 words which are majzoom. And you know you're looking for verbs, right? Because there's no such thing as an ism majzoom. So you're looking for verbs. And then on the left side of the table, it says alamatul jazm. You have to write down what is the actual sign of that word being majzoom. And a hint here, the 2 words have 2 different signs of being majzoom. So the verses are أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل ألم يجعل كيدهم في تضليل وأرسل عليهم طيرا أبابيل ترميهم بحجارة من سجيل فجعلهم كعصف مأكول. That's the surah, and there are only 2 majzoom verbs in there. Sure, there's more than 2 verbs. There's fa'ala, that's a verb, but that's past tense. It's not yaf'alu, it's fa'ala, past tense. Like arsala, it's also past tense. We have tarmihim as well, tarmihim. But it's got its harf illa. Rama, yarmi, tarmihim. So that's marfu'a. That can't be the word we're looking for. And we've got in the last verse as well, فَجَعَلَهُمْ. We've got another ja'ala past tense verb. So what we're looking for are the 2 words that come after alam. We've got an a, hamza, for istifham. And then we've got a lam, for negation. Harfun jazimun. It makes the next word, which will be a verb, a present tense verb, a fi'il mudari, it makes it majzoom. So we've got alam tara, kayfa. Tara was originally tara with an alif, maqsura, written like a ya. Alam tara. But because of jazm, we get rid of the harf illa, and it becomes alam tara. Have you not seen? So then you should have written for number 1, tara. 2 letters with a fatha on both, ta-ra. And then on the left side of the table, alamatul jazm, for number 1 you should have written hadful alif, or hadfu harfil illa. Then number 2 comes in verse number 2. Alam yaj'al kaydahum. There you have another alam, hamzatul istifham, and then lam, harfun jazim. The next word must be a fi'l mudari' majzoom, yaj'al. Not yaj'alu, but yaj'al. with a sukun on the lam. So your second kalima majzuma should be يجعل. ياء مفتوحة، جيم ساكنة، عين مفتوحة، لام ساكنة. يجعل. And you should have written علامة الجزم for number 2 is السكون. السكون. بارك الله فيكم. السؤال السادس والأخير: ما هي الحروف التي حذفها علامة للجزم؟ What are the letters? Not حركات, not markings, not فتحas or ضمas or كسرas or sukuns, not those things. حروف here, letters, ألف باء تاء. What are the letters that are removed from a word? And the removal of that letter is the sign of that word being majzum. There are 4. Did you get them all? There are 4. We have the huruf al-illa, al-thalatha, the 3 letters of illa, the 3 vowels, if you will. Alif, waw, and ya. They can be removed as signs of the word being majzum. And you have the noon. The noon as well is the 4th one, which can be removed as a sign of that word being majzum. Examples would be like the example in Surah Al-Fil, Alam Tara Kayfa. It was Tara with an alif. The alif was removed. You've already heard examples of the ya and the waw. Yaqdi, lam yaqdi. The ya is removed. And yaghzu, lam yaghzu. The waw is removed. And when is the noon removed? في الأمثلة الخمسة, in the 5 special verbs. يفعلون, تفعلون, يفعلان, تفعلان, تفعلين. So add a lam in front of all of those, for example. لم يفعلوا, take the noon off. لم تفعلوا, take the noon off. لم يفعلا, take the noon off. لم تفعلا, with no noon. And then لم تفعلي, with no noon. بارك الله فيكم. I hope you did really well, and I hope you're doing really well. May Allah Ta'ala bless your efforts and give you success. And now on to lesson number 25, insha'Allah Ta'ala. وصل اللهم وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.